Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Triple N Media. I am NIK NIKAM. In this presentation, I am going to show you how to use high-speed sync with your regular flash or with high-powered flash like Godox AC600 or Flashpoint 600. In fact, I have a Flashpoint AD600 XL, what 600, whatever it is, and of course, I'm using a Nikon D750 camera. I was at an outdoor event and I used this Godox, this flash, which has high sync capability. In order to set the camera and the flash to high sync mode, first of all, in the camera, we need to go and set up the shutter speed to the maximum shutter speed or the fastest shutter speed of 1/250th of a second. That was the setup on my Nikon D750 camera. Similarly, when we turn on this flash here, this TTL, and you can see a little lightning rod, and that's what you have to press. And here is the button which is showing where to press to make the flash function with high speed sync. When that is set up and the flash is on the camera, now you can run the shutter speed beyond 250. And I'm going to show you some examples. This was an entirely outdoor shooting of about 150 pictures, and I'm going to walk you through to show you how we can use the high speed sync to kind of dim the bright sunny background and still be able to see people's faces. If we have to make their faces visible like this in this bright sunlight, you cannot do it with the regular camera settings. You cannot do it using a flash with 1/60th or 1/20th of a second. Okay, let us start off. First of all, this, as I told you, is bright sunshine behind. And as you can see, it's completely white. And the camera setting here, of course, I want to tell you about my camera settings. My ISO is set to 200, and this is on manual. My f-stop is 4.0, which is fixed since I'm using the kit lens 24 to 120 millimeters. And then the shutter speed depending upon the lighting setup. And I always had the flash on, set to TTL with the high speed sync on. Okay, this picture, ISO 200, 55 millimeters, f4.0, and a shutter speed of 320. This is something you can't accomplish in a regular setup. So you have to read up on your particular camera how to do the high speed setup in your camera and also in the flash. If you buy a new flash, make sure it has high speed sync capability. We are going to use this as a background and look at some other pictures I have done and see how it comes up. Okay, here you can see a picture. Obviously, the background was very similar to the one we saw in the previous picture. And you can see, because I am using a f4.0 lens, and the background is quite a distance from the subject. It's got a nice bouquet, but the most important thing is I'm at the same setting now. ISO 200, 120 millimeters, f4.0, which is fixed in my lens. Now the shutter speed is 1/500th of a second. So if you're in a bright environment with a very bright sunshine in the background, find a place where there is shadow. Even if the sunshine is in the background, find a shaded place. And then you use the flash to highlight the subject while keeping the shutter speed extremely high, depending on whatever it takes to dim the backdrop. Okay, let's look at some more pictures here. Here's this is like 400th of a second. Same ISO 200, and this is all outdoors, f4.0. And let's look at this one. This is 400th of a second. And here's this is the bright background which I showed in the first picture, and this is 1/500th of a second, same f4.0. See, in this way you can use f as low as whatever your lens is. Like I have a Nikon 1.8 85 millimeter lens. I can practically use that one to take portrait pictures in bright sunshine. As long as the subject is in a shadow, we can dim the background with high shutter speeds. And here's the same picture which I showed you, the first one, with a close-up, a repeat picture done, ISO 200, 95 millimeters, f4.0, 1/400th of a second. All right, so I think you can see the power of the high-speed sync. If this were done with a regular camera, even with or without flash, you cannot replicate this clarity in the picture. Let's look at some other ones which had a pretty high speed. Take a look at this. They are just facing the bright sunshine. And here is a shutter speed of 1/500th of a second. Okay, here is Mayor of Houston in an event which I was attending, and this is Mayor Sylvester Turner, and here is a picture 1/1000th of a second. All the rest of the settings are same, except the lens distance was 112 millimeter. Okay, 1/1000th of a second. Let's look at some other stuff here, and look at this one, 1/1600th of a second. 1/1600th of a second, and look how clear their faces are, and look at the background here, which if you use a regular setup, it will be completely white, their faces will be dark, and it will be just worthless. But by using this camera, and also they are wearing white shirts which also reflect a great degree of light, so you get the idea. And 1/16th of a second, this is a little bit in the shadow area, and this is the Consul General of India, Mr. Mahajan, and you can see 1/500th of a second. So this is the power of the high speed sync. If you're on the road, especially outdoors, I would always put the flash on the camera, set it to high sync speed, so that depending upon where exactly you are, because if you want to catch the picture and you don't have many options, then you can use the high speed sync to get the desired images. This is a great experiment which I really enjoyed. I hope this has been educational to you, and please do subscribe to our YouTube channel, as we have many more videos on how to optimize your camera, flash, and also how to use Lightroom to study your pictures and modify your pictures. I will see you next time.